Welcome to Mindfully Integrative Podcast with your host, Dr. Damaris G. Mindfully Integrative is a podcast discussing ways toward mindfully incorporating integrative health into our lives. This podcast will have informative resources, fun topics, interviews, and discussions relatable for today with a true mindful perspective in a mind-body holistic life approach.
Hi, how are you? This is Dr. Damaris Maria Grossman, and this is the Mindfully Integrative Show. And today we have an amazing mindful chat with Mira Katyal. So she is an Ayurvedic lifestyle consultant, counselor, and Reiki master. She's done many years of helping herself and her patients. And I can't wait for you guys to learn more about her. So thank you so much, Mira, for coming on the show today.
Thank you, Damaris. So thank you for bringing me here. And yes, everybody needs more health and more happiness.
I do. I think it's so important. And I was really looking forward for people to meet you and tell them more about who you are. But I'd like a little fun fact. I always say, what's kind of something that people may not know about you?
There's so many mysterious things about me. Well, once I won a gold medal in a military program, and it was totally unexpected. I'm not like a very fitness freak, health freak. I'm more of a softie, and it was a very shocking event in my life.
What kind of events? Was it like a obstacle course, a run?
Yes, so in India, there's a paramilitary program called NCC, and they have different competitions from all over India. It's firing and nursing and signals. So I came first in managing the signal communications,
Oh, that's really neat. That's very cool. So, you're originally from India?
Yes, I'm from India.
Okay, and then now you are located
in Canada.
In Canada. Okay. But you've traveled all over. You were in Dubai
yeah,
and such, right?
A lot of places. I've lived in 4 countries, yes.
Wow. Okay. And so kind of tell the audience, those listening, kind of where about you a little bit more that's going on and kind of like where you started. I talk about integrative health because it's mindful ways each and every day that people have been using to help themselves and then help transition and help others. How did your story come about?
Well, it was very unexpected from my point of view as well, because I come from a family of 4 doctors. And my mother, father, elder sister, and brother-in-law are doctors. I grew up in that environment. I also studied science till grade 12. And my father was hoping I would become a doctor. But I was never attracted to Western medicine, or any healing at that point of time, because we didn't understand when I'm talking about 1989, 90, when you thought healing is Western medicine. You didn't know that there was anything beyond it, And I ended up doing psychology and business, and I went to Dubai. I brought up my family. I had twins. They were toddlers, and they often fell sick, like all babies do. It was very, very tiring and difficult, always going to the doctor every month. One would get okay, then the other would get sick. So I really wanted them to improve their immunity so they could deal with the infections more proactively. And I went to my doctor, and she prescribed some medicine. I don't know why I did not take it. At that time, Google was internet was coming up, and I came across this. There's a sleeping prophet in America. He's called Edgar Cayce. So you could ask him any question under a trance and he would answer it. He was a Christian, devout person. But all the stuff he talked about parallels a lot of the knowledge system from India, like Ayurveda and Vedic concepts like Kundalini, chakras, prayers, rebirth. And he was a bit shocked by his own what he used to say during trance, because he was a Christian and he was not used to the idea of reincarnation and all this stuff. And but the Eastern school of thinking always believed in it from where I come. And when I saw his stuff, and he also talked about immunity, and there was a juice which he said people should take for their immunity, which is celery, lettuce, and carrot. And that,
Yum.
yes. But I tell you, from coming from a doctor's background, I found it a bit very simplistic, a very silly remedy, because I was into science and antibiotics and vaccines, and I had no clue how the healing system worked inside the body and how carrots and lettuce and things like that could help. But I'm very curious, very experimental. I'm always investigating, and I started giving my kids that juice off and on. And every September, any mother knows that the flu season comes around and kids tend to fall sick and spread the flu inside the home. You have coughs, colds, everything like that. This has been going on ever since I have had my kids. I know that this happens. But I noticed when they had this juice that they would fall less ill in September, and they would be better off than their cousins, friends, neighbors. And I still didn't put two and two together until a couple of years passed. And I started realizing that what he's saying is not just very simple and effective, but very profound. He had access to some universal truths. And those same truths are available in native systems. The native systems were they didn't reject the idea of divine. So the knowledge they received was more holistic. And that's where India comes from, Ayurveda. These are very old sciences. Yoga, Ayurveda, they came from a holistic source. And I started seeing the patterns of what he's saying repeat in my systems. And finally, a long road, 20 years. And I have been experimenting on myself by going to retreats, trying every modality, learning them here and there. And I just realized that, 50% of your life can get better just at home.
Seriously,
that's my personal experience. Because a lot of the base problems neglected become into full-fledged diseases. But their start is 10, 15 years before they actually become a very serious disease. And it's just the very small things we ignore every day, like you have an upset stomach, you don't sleep properly, you fall ill every September. So falling ill frequently is low immunity. Having a weak digestive system means your food is not being processed and nourished properly. So you don't have access to good nutrition because your stomach is not working properly. And if you're not sleeping properly, that means your mind is cluttered, your emotions are overwhelmed. So actually, Ayurveda only tries to help you first in this area, that you fix your sleep, you fix your stomach, you fix your environment around you. So two things happen. If you fix it at the home level, first, whatever is out of disorder comes back. And if you keep practicing, it becomes a preventive medicine.
Would you be able to explain to those that don't know what Ayurvedic medicine is?
Okay, so Ayurveda, this is composed of two words. Ayur means life or longevity or life, and Veda means knowledge. So it means the knowledge of life. It tries to improve the quality of life and the span of life you have to live it at the highest potential, not at the lowest or medium potential. So Ayurveda is based on three pillars. This is diet, the stomach. So everything that goes in through your mouth and digestive system affects your body. So that would mean breathing as well as food. And the sleep is the second pillar. So anything that affects sleep, like your emotions and mind and the senses, the way you use your senses, is also affects your psychology. So that is the second pillar. And the third pillar is called brahmacharya, which is almost like restraint. And that third pillar actually helps you spiritually elevate. So the first pillar is for your body, the second is for your mind, and the third for spiritual elevation. But even if you take care of the first two pillars, you will at least get a much more healthier life. And this is all based on nature. They explain how nature works. And that nature works everywhere, in the climate, in the elements, chemistry inside your body. It works everywhere, wherever there are elements, which is, there is no place in the universe where there are no elements. So they explain how the elements function, how to make the element dysfunctional and how to make the element functional. And that is exactly what we do. It is a lifestyle therapy. That means if you understand Ayurveda, you can repair your lifestyle and come back into rhythm with nature. And when you're in rhythm with nature, you're more healthy.
And how do you find yourself now more? What have you, I mean, you practice this, that you've been doing this for all of your life. And
Not
then with
all
your
of my
children.
life, but yeah, at least it's been in stages. So I have, first I experienced Ayurveda, then I learned about Ayurveda. So I'll tell you my first most interesting, in a serious introduction to Ayurveda. Growing up in India, I'd heard of Ayurveda, but I had no idea. I just thought it was herbal medicine. But I was going to India, and my cousin and friend, she asked me, do you want to come to a retreat? And I like these kind of stuff, so I went. And I had never heard of this Ayurvedic retreat before in the north of India. And her yoga teacher had recommended it. So we went there, and I put aside 1 week, and I said, if it's a nice scenic place and relaxing, then I'm willing to try it. Although I had no clue what this Ayurveda does. And I went there, and there was the doctor, and everybody would queue up in the morning. It's a retreat, and everybody would queue up in the morning and meet the doctor and tell their problem. So first day I went, and I saw everybody doing that. So I also gave him my list of issues. And also I'm very susceptible to, anxiety, depression, things like that. So I just gave him a huge list, and he says, okay, he would write what is to be done to the therapist, and they would do it on me the next day. So I was given 2 massages a day, plus a lot of herbal drinks, this, that, diet. So the first massage was like a drip of oil on my forehead for about half an hour. And can you imagine, if I go to my family doctor, he will send me to a psychologist. He will give me some antidepressants. But I had never heard of someone dripping oil on the forehead for depression, or even any mental agitation, stress, or burnout, all these kind of issues. And it was like I zoned out. And I slept so heavily for 24 hours. It was a very like a shocking experience for me. I said, what is he doing? And then the way I felt. And after the end of 1 week, I was so happy and felt so light. I felt like I was back in the sense of my mood, as if I was in my childhood. I had never felt that happy and free the way I did in that 1 week. And I was like, I think I was just kind of amazed by the experience and wondering what happened. It took me several years to process what happened, and how come that level of care of just 1 week turned around my mood so much. Over time, I investigated Ayurveda, and I just realized there's so much, I would say, universal truths. So they will never change, those truths. No new scientific study will come and say this works, doesn't work, because they're very deeply based on universal truths, and they were sourced through a holistic literature, scriptures. And they are studied in universities around the world. There's research done on it. And I just realized I don't have to go here and there anymore. This is the answer. I've tried many modalities, many, all kinds of alternative modalities, but they were always like, okay, I'm dependent on someone else. I can't do it at home. I don't understand what he's doing. How can I be proactive? You
Mhm.
know, this Ayurveda can single-handedly answer all those questions. Yeah.
Did you find when you went for that retreat, and obviously through the years, um, I mean, I can see that, I'm very passionate about, changing and getting other options to help, instead of just a pill, this massage and ways now that you've transformed your life. Have you been incorporating that more with patients, or do you have a story to share of that
Yes,
has helped
I
you along
am
the way?
not, I'm more integrative in nature. So all the healing tools I found to be very, very fast and deep penetrating is what I use now. So I'll use
Awesome.
Ayurveda, yoga, and Reiki. Reiki
Wonderful.
also
Wonderful.
came from Mikao Usui from Japan, and Reiki practitioners are all over the world. The thing I have realized is that people do holistic healing one by one. I've been a chiropractor, I've been to the acupuncturist, but what I have realized is if you synergize this,
Mhm.
and if you be proactive with your doctor or therapist instead of abandoning yourself to them,
Yes.
you be proactive in your health, then your healing will be double tripled.
That
so
makes
it's
so much sense.
so this is not for someone who wants a pill and just one stop solution and move on. For that, Western medicine is best, because all you have to do is listen to the doctor and follow the prescription. This is a very proactive healing technique. It's like you want to slim down, you have a program to eat and to do exercises. Ayurveda is like that, except this is not limited to weight loss. It is going to heal your mind, it is going to heal your relationships, it's going to heal your stomach, it's going to heal your, so it's very deep, it's deeper. This is the deepest, because they're not even working with the body tissue, they're working with energy level concepts.
It's beyond, it has it's all interconnected. And if you being a scientist and not knowing, and me being in the science field, like I feel that it is all interconnected. And even though maybe things, some parts of it are not tangible, that its energy is within us without, throughout. So,
So if you want an example, I'll give of my daughter who is studying to be a vet doctor, and
a
she's
veterinarian. Oh,
constantly,
that's wonderful.
yeah. So she's constantly stressed by the heavy exam schedule and university schedule, and
Of
it's a
course.
very competitive program. It's very lot of work in a short period of time, and she's prone to stress. And everybody, even a person who's normal, would be prone to stress. So come exam time, it's a very bad time,
Hmm.
and usually she likes to dismiss my advice. But when you're in the last moment and there's no space, that's when she would turn to me, and I
Uh-oh.
would get these emergency texts. What shall I do? I can't sleep. I can't do this.
Right. Oh
Then I
gosh.
said, okay, just put sesame oil on your back, behind your ears, on your feet, and have this herb drink. Take a warm glass of milk, put some nutmeg. And, at least it helps her this much that instead of tossing and turning, she fell asleep. Then our friends asked me. So, see, everybody struggles with all these tiny issues. Now,
Hmm.
how many times do you want to go to the doctor for these tiny issues? These are issues we can handle ourselves at home,
Hmm. Yeah,
and
without having
very,
to take
very
a pill
effective.
every time.
Yeah,
Well, it's not all, I mean, it may be sometimes you do need the medicine or some
yeah.
supplements, but there's ways that you can be home, and you need to have these different techniques, and I call them mindful ways, but ways to, integrate into your life.
So I would say Western medicine is good for life and death and emergency, and taking you out of the advanced stage. But if you want to go back to grassroots healing, Ayurveda is the best.
That's amazing. What in your practice have what do you find to be the most I say spices or oils that you like to use?
Well, really, it depends on your constitution, because we have three basic constitutions and they are made of the five elements. So we have five elements: space, air, um, fire, water, earth. and the space and air become Vata constitution. So I have a character. I call her Winnie. You know,
Oh,
she's
neat.
always hyperactive, very on the go kind of a person. Then the fire, the pitta is made of the fire and water. This is the second dosha. And again, I have another character, you know. So
So
he's always very ambitious, driven,
cool.
and they love physical activity. And the last one is earth and water. So a little bit, they have a lot of, they're well endowed, you know, because they have a lot of earth and water. And each of these elements have their own characteristics, which are reflected in them. So if you want to heal, first you have to know your constitution.
Mhm.
So the healing for the vata is different from the healing for the kapha, because if you're kapha, you need more exercise, more fire, right? But for vata, they'll become sick and they'll become stressed out, and they will become anxious, and they will have neurological disorders. So actually, they need more rest because they're always so active and overly, you know, spent, that it doesn't make sense to give them the same therapy.
Therapies. Yeah. I mean, it makes a lot of sense. I think that I love the different doshas. I can't wait for people to learn more about it with you because I think it's so important. Do you have anything you would like to share with the audience, or things that are coming up, or just another mindful tip that you have that you'd like to express to anyone?
I have a online course coming up in September. So this is the result of all my experiences and training. And I think the main objective is that we should all be able to be mini healers at home, you know, and that is possible. And not only just doing stuff, you want to see the results at home. You want to sleep better. You want your digestion to be better. So for that, it's all on my website, MiraOM.com, MiraOM.com. And I don't know, which tip would you like on stress?
Sure. I always like for the audience to hear just a little small tidbit from those inspiring people that have been working in the trying to build up their optimal health and optimal wellness.
So the biggest number one obstacle to health nowadays is stress. Mental, it creates mental health, ill health, and it also causes physical ill health. It also causes lack of communication within the family. It's everywhere, at home, at offices. So I would say, please protect your sleep. Sleep at 10 p.m., get up at 6 a.m. Try to make sure that you have a good, unbroken sleep, and don't overstimulate your senses through social media. And you can apply sesame oil and have a warm glass of milk with nutmeg, a pinch of nutmeg. And this will actually, if you keep doing this as a lifestyle, you will notice at least 10 to 15% improvement in your sleep.
Love it. Thank you so much. Is there anything additional that you'd like to share before I let you go, or anything that inspires you that had inspired you through the years?
I think the best way to understand Ayurveda is through the COVID message. Slow down, be at home, look after yourselves.
I love that. Thank you so much.
That message is from nature. Don't dismiss it.
I really appreciate your time and all of your knowledge, and I cannot wait for those to reach out to you. All of your information will be in the show notes, and we look forward to having them reach out to you. So thank you so much for your time and your effort today. And each one on this show, a Mindfully Integrative show, make sure you find a mindful way each and every day in your life. Thanks so much, and have a wonderful day. Thank you again, Mira, for being on the show.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you for listening to the Mindfully Integrative Show with Dr. Damaris Maria Grossman, family nurse practitioner. This podcast is for informational and educational purposes only and is not to substitute for professional medical advice, diagnose, or treat. Always consult your healthcare provider before making changes to your healthcare routine. Make sure to subscribe so you don't miss an episode. If you enjoyed our show, please support us by leaving a mindful review on Apple Podcasts or your favorite streaming platform. Interested in being a guest or more information? Email us at info@mindfullyintegrative.com. For resources mentioned in the show, visit our website at www.mindfullyintegrative.com. You can also connect mindfully with Dr. Damaris on her social media links found on the site. May your strength and peace guide you to find a mindful way every day. Namaste.